Hello and welcome to my media museum. Today we're starting box 10 of our 45 RPM vinyl records collection, and starting right out the gate with the really awesome one was from Skid Row, I Remember You. And this one we've even got the jukebox tag for. So that's always cool bonus, when you find one of those in the sleeve. And the B-side of that one was Making a Mess. Two really good songs from Skid Row. Alright, next up, we got a really cool one that I'm thrilled to have added to the collection. And that's Rainbow doing Stone Cold. I thought I knew you so well. With the B-side of that one being Rock Fever. Very cool. Very happy to have that one. These labels here, they'll always remind me of BTO. Those were the first 45s I got with that label. It was a BTO 45. So I don't know why, but it always makes me think of BTO. And this one is a really unique, really cool one. Ronnie James Dio. Shortly after leaving Sabbath, this would have been his second album, Last in Line, and following Holy Diver, and Mystery. It's all just a mystery. I believe that one was in a film too, about wrestling. What the heck was that name of that movie? But anyways, this is a promotional copy, not for sale. It's the exact same thing on both sides. I showed you that other side first because it wasn't covering up the Dio logo. These price tags are pretty well stuck on there, so they're not coming off without a little bit of creativity. And I generally avoid trying to remove them because they end up damaging the labels. So this one you get to see the Warner Bros. Logos, but you can also see that promotion not for sale a lot more clearly on this B-side. So they are the exact same 3:55 running time. So it is a single song for promo 45. All right. Sometimes those promos got some nifty stuff on the second side, and sometimes it's just a mono or a stereo, A/B kind of thing, because they were giving them to the AM and the FM radio stations. But sometimes you get really cool stuff, but sometimes they are just like that, with just the same song on both sides. Seems like a waste to me, but that's the way they did it. Here we got Kiss with Lick It Up, and I do believe I had a copy of this on my Kiss video that I did. But there's another Kiss one in here, actually Ace Frehley, a little bit later on in the box. I was de-sleeving them, of course. And speed up the process for filming. B-side of this being Dance All Over Your Face, so that's why I'm aware that there's an Ace Frehley coming up in the not too distant future. If not in this episode, then probably in the next. So next up we've got Poison. Not one of my favorite bands, but I got a lot of friends who really liked Poison. Didn't have anything against them. But Nothing But a Good Time, which is a good song. Ain't looking for nothing but a good time. And it's from the Open Up and Say Ah album there, which was, their first album and quite successful for them. Hitting it right out the gate. B-side here, Look But You Can't Touch. So it's also from the same album, so nothing tremendously special on that B-side. Now here's one that we had in the second box of the Red Tin Twins, but I'm going to go ahead and show it to you here because I'm kind of done pulling out duplicates. We'll just fly through them, fly by them. This one you can see has got some wear, stacker wear on this side of Sometimes She Cries, which is the A side. And the B-side is the exact same, 32 pennies, but much nicer, cleaner looking label there on that B-side. And next up, we're going to have a couple of Def Leppards. The Rock of Ages from Pyromania. And on the B-side of that one was Billy's Got a Gun, which was not one of my favorite Def Leppard songs by any means. In fact, I thought that was the worst song on the whole album. But a lot of these Def Leppard 45s do actually have great songs on both sides. They're kind of like double A sides. This one, for example, we've got Fooling on the A side. Fooling. And You Got Me Coming Under Fire on the B side. So there's definitely two good songs there. And then next up, we've got a Scorpions one that's actually really kind of cool, because while the A side here, or side one as they've designated it, is Send Me an Angel off of the Crazy World album, the B side is something special. It's the Russian version of Wind of Change, which, that's pretty interesting. Coming up next, we're going to have one that's got English on one side and Spanish on the other side. So it's interesting here to have one with... now, I'm not sure if they're singing in Russian. I haven't put this on. I'm actually really, really interested in doing just that. But it says it's from the album Crazy World 2, so the original version, anyways, it says was from the same album, Crazy World. So yeah, I'm not really sure if they're singing it in Russian or just some of the lyrics had been changed. But here in a minute, we're going to see one where they're actually singing it in the other language. Now this is, I put the B-side down first, but that's perfectly all right. Here's a Collectibles back-to-back hit series, the Scorpions again, with Still Loving You on the B side. So what would you suspect might be on the A? Of course, Rock You Like a Hurricane. Yeah, and I do have an original of Rock You Like a Hurricane, and I don't remember what's on the B side of it, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't Still Loving You. So here, next up, we've got that English on one side, Spanish on the other that I was just talking about, with David Lee Roth doing Going Crazy from The Heat. This is off of his Eat 'Em and Smile album, which was actually quite darn good. So the B side of that is the Spanish version. And yes, he is singing in Spanish. This one I do know. He actually did the entire album, Eat 'Em and Eat 'Em and Smile. Spit it out, Will. He did the entire album in Spanish. There was a Spanish version. I do have it. I don't listen to it, but I do have it. I have checked it out. And this one we've got a jukebox tag for too, which is always very cool. So definitely whoever had this stack had a jukebox. All right. So next up, we got a Loverboy, which is one of their really good songs, Hot Girls in Love. Yeah, I really like that one off of Keep It Up. And the B-side on there is a song called Meltdown. All right, loving every minute of it. Oh yeah! So here's another one that we have looked at a copy of before, but this is a really, really clean-looking label, clean-looking copy. Quiet Riot, Come On, Feel the Noise. Very, very cool. And that's some interesting artwork there. It's like he's got a hole in him, and there's a picture on the other side. That's pretty kind of bizarre there. But you can look, that vinyl is just like the day it was made. And the B-side there being Run for Cover, which is the exact same B-side I recall having been on the previous copies of Come On Feel the Noise that I have shown you. Next up, Ario Speedwagon. You gotta roll with those changes. And that was taken from You Can Tune a Piano, but you can't tune a fish. Band with a sense of humor, huh? And what's on the B side of that? The Unidentified Flying Tuna Trot, which, if I remember correctly, is just basically a guitar solo thing. I do believe that's an instrumental song. It's only 2 minutes, 17 seconds long. But yeah, it's been a while since I've listened to it, but I'm pretty sure that is an instrumental. Alright, so now we've got a memory lane, and you can see we've got an original $229 price tag on there. And for once, nice, the disc matches the sleeve. And we've got Ario Speedwagon again, doing Time for Me to Fly. I think it's time for me to fly. And that's saying it's from March of 1980. I love it when they date them like that. And the B-side was from November, and it's definitely a double A. So you could pick whichever one you wanted to call the A or B side, but I go with the older song being the A side and the newer song being the B. But Keep On Loving You. I'm gonna keep on loving you. And not really sure. Yeah, I think those were from the same album. Alright, so next up we've got a rarity here. This one is a really sweet one to get your hands on and have in the collection. An early Deep Purple, This Bird Has Flown. Lord Blackmore and Evans. Very cool. And it's on Terragrammation Records. That's a weird word, try and pronounce. But the B-side of this is Emeretta. And actually, to tell you the truth, Emeretta may very well be the A-side there, with This Bird Has Flown being the B-side. But This Bird Has Flown was actually the very first song that I ever played on my turntable after I moved away from home. The first house that I rented and I moved into, I set everything up and I put that on. I, of course, had the album, not this 45 version of it. But yeah, that's just a little, fun fact that takes me back to quite a few years. But yeah, This Bird Has Flown, and I had. All right, now here we've got that Ace Frehley that I was talking about when we were looking at the Kiss a minute ago, and New York Groove. I'm back, and you can see it's very, very beautiful copy, very clean. Couldn't resist paying $1 for something that I knew I already had multiple copies of. But it's a really beautiful looking copy. And, I don't mind having duplicates if they're, better than the, or possibly even better than the copy that I have. I'll pick up duplicates all day long for 50 cents or $1 if it's a really great song by an artist that I really, really respect or enjoy. So there you go. That is going to wrap up episode 1 of box 10 of our 45 vinyl RPM records. Come on back for part 2. See you then.